Okay, so good morning. So, first and foremost, I want to say that I'm very, very grateful for Karen to have trained on Friday. I saw her training; it was really good, and I just love, getting different perspectives from our masterminds on what they're learning and what they're practicing, and those best practices really do resonate with all of us, and what we take from that and what we implement is really powerful. And so I thought that was a great training. And today, I always start out with gratitude, and you know I read over and over and over about practicing gratitude, and I just want to say that it just makes me so emotional. I spent the yesterday with a friend of mine who I've known since I was 14 years old, and she had to go in for emergency surgery because she's 75 years old, and she just randomly went to the doctor, and she's always going to the doctor. At that age, she's always going to the doctor, but they found out that she had ovarian cancer, and they immediately took her into surgery to get rid of it. And I have to say, she's one of the most amazing people, because her attitude, although she was very frightened and it was terrible news, we went to see her yesterday, and all she talked about was gratitude, how grateful she was. And it would just hit me that no matter what's going on in your life, if you can really sort of change the scope of the way you live to be in an attitude of gratitude, things are brighter, and your life is better. So I just wanted to share that with you. It was very, very interesting to me how grateful she was for everything, although frightened, but grateful. And I don't know, it was powerful. Anyway, so gratitude for all of us. I want to quickly just, for those of us that are going to the conference, I want to make sure you guys are all aware that on our team, Anna has a wonderful promotion about getting 2 customers or 1 recruit, and you can go to a private breakfast at Anna Camp's suite, which I think will be amazing. I would like to see every single one of us there. So I'm working diligently on this practice, and I hope you are too. And I also wanted to remind those that are going to St. Louis, there's a lot of activity going on in St. Louis, so don't forget that we're all going to come together on Friday night at around 7 o'clock to have a little drink together. And Karen is providing some appetizers for us. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So make sure to save those dates and get that on your calendar. Okay, so I'm really excited today, because what you've been seeing on the Zoom lately is that I've been trying to get a lot of you to kind of share your story and to share the things in your life, best practices, the things that make your heart sing, the things that you do to go out there every single day and make stuff happen. And I want to introduce to you Janet Early. I know most of you know who she is. She started out in Miriam probably, I think, around 4 years ago, or maybe more. I met her early on in the game. She was introduced to me by actually one of my friends who I've known since I was in, I think, junior high school. And I went out to share Miriam, and she was at that first market party, Real Results party at her salon. And Karen met us out there, and my friend Dana was there. And Janet was one of the people that was difficult. She was one of those skeptical people. She had questions. She was not so easily, taken with this whole thing. And she was our first challenge, because, we'd never done this before. I don't even know if Janet knows that, but she was a good lesson for all of us. And of course, she came into the business and has just been an amazing person. And today I'm really excited for her to share her story. And I'm just going to change this slide as I introduce her, because she's going to talk about resilience. And her story and her best practices, I think, is something that all of us can relate to and can learn from. So I just want to welcome Janet again and tell her how grateful I am that she's sharing her story today. And I want to turn it over to you, Janet. Thank you so much. Are you there?
I sure am, Annie. Thank you so much can you see me? And can you hear me? I guess you can. Well, I'm very, very thankful to be on this Zoom right now. Actually, I want to start the Zoom with gratitude, because that's how Annie always starts her Zooms, and I want to keep that going. So today I am super thankful and grateful for being able to share today on the Zoom. I think it's a real privilege and an honor to be sharing with everybody here on this mastermind. And I'm also thankful for our home. We've been able to move to Temecula, and we have a nice, safe, spacious place to live and keep our family safe. And I'm also thankful for my family. So with that, I'm going to get started on this story about resilience. Annie, you're right, but you're actually a little bit off. It's 5 years ago on July 2nd that I'm celebrating our Nerium business. Rick and I, Rick was not on board. It was at Annie's salon, not Annie's salon, it was at Mia's salon that I met Annie and Karen. Annie had just gotten her car. I was invited to this. I was not excited to go to this party, you guys. Annie's absolutely correct. I was very skeptical. I'd done direct sales companies. I've done about 3 of them in the past, and this was not a place that I wanted to go. But my friend Mia kept prodding me, well, maybe pleasantly being persistent, I guess I should say, telling me to go to this party, and she was launching it in her salon in Vista. So I showed up very skeptical, really with my guard up, and the product was amazing. It actually intrigued me, but I really didn't want them to know it intrigued me. I was kind of playing that game. And so after all my icky questions about what's your comp plan, and how does this thing really work, and is this safe? You guys, am I going to have to buy a bunch of inventory? I mean, I was just kind of a brat. But anyway, I ended up becoming a customer that day, and my girlfriend that was with me, she ended up becoming a customer too. And so what happened is I left there going, wait a minute, I left money on the table on this one. My business hat went on. I went, I left money on the table. My friend, I could have gotten a commission off of this sale. So needless to say, 2 weeks later, I upgraded to a brand partner, and it's been really, really fun. I do want to say a couple things about that. I did not fast start qualify. I did not get my iPad in 60 days. But you know what really happened is, well, I was in corporate America. My husband was in corporate America. 2 weeks after we signed up, or I signed up, because Rick didn't want me to sign up, but that's a whole other story. It's like doing another business, Janet, really? I mean, you have like thousands of dollars worth of jewelry in our garage. Do we need to really invest in something else? So I said, yeah, I'm going to sell that at cost and buy a kit. So that's what I did. And he's not complaining now, believe me. So he got laid off actually 2 weeks after I signed on as a brand partner. And so we had some savings that we could use and things like that to help us and stuff. And that was great. And then what happened was I was getting very stressed out, and I was building Nerium very spare time, because I had a full-time accounting position at a very large corporation in Carlsbad, and it was growing, and the accounting department was growing. And so I thought that was going to be, where I was going to stay. So I wasn't expecting a Nerium business to come into my life by any means. But it's kind of funny, because after it did, that job got really, really stressful. So I ended up leaving that job and starting another job, got laid off from that job. And then I had a decision to make. I was either going to like dabble with Nerium and keep it going as like kind of a little hobby, or I was really going to dive in and make this work. So it's kind of funny, but that day that I got laid off, all the leaders in Nerium at that time, and it was like Karen and Anna, and I think Annie and Robert were even there. I'm just not even sure who was all there. All I know is that I wasn't in Cabo. I was not in Cabo, and that's where I wanted to be. It was my goal to be in Cabo, but that's the day that I got laid off. So that put a fire under me, and I ended up in 90 days getting my Lexus. November of 2013, I got my Lexus. I will never forget that day, you guys. It was just so exciting getting to drive out to the Lexus dealership, and we went to Carlsbad, and Rick and I, we drove off in an IS 250 F Sport. It was when they first came out. We were just excited. Had a lot of momentum going on in the business, a lot of personally sponsoring, helping our team get people personally sponsored, helping them get iPads, helping them get just senior brand partner, helping them go 3-year free. It was just such a lot of momentum. So we, quickly went a couple months later to executive director. Well, wow, that was awesome. And then we were loving life. It was really, really good at executive. And we liked it. We qualified for that Bahamas trip, and we just, you guys, it was just amazing. Rubbing elbows with the leaders, getting a lot more information to help build our teams. Bahamas was amazing. And then and then right after the Bahamas, that's when the obstacles hit. Okay, so that's why I'm getting to this talk on resilience. Because what you could really do about resilience, if you looked up in the dictionary the word resilience, you could actually have resilience, the EARLYE family, because I mean that's what happened. When we came back from the Bahamas, so one of the first things that happened was our teenage daughter, who we absolutely love and adore, let us know that she was pregnant. And I'm like, really? We were on track. We were like, okay, we have some plans here. I mean, we're going NMD. Like, what is going on here, people? You're pregnant? Really? Rick, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that took the wind a lot out of our sails, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. Our family had to go through a lot of transition, but what's really beautiful about a lot of this, and we can look on this hindsight, because at the time when you're going through something, when you're going through a struggle, really, are we really welcoming that struggle when we're going through it? Not so much. Sometimes it takes some time, but I'll tell you that we have our family of faith, and we have a lot of strong faith, but you know what? It's not just that too, but our Miriam family came alongside of us, helped us, encouraged us, prayed for us, helped us in so many ways. And you guys, if I was still in corporate America at that time, I wouldn't have been able to be there for her. She was scared. She was lonely. She didn't know what to do. So we all bound together as a family, and at that time too, Rick realized, oh my gosh, I got to get out there and make something happen. So what he did is he went to work for Uber. So he was working like 60+ hours a week for Uber, driving people around, dealing with all that stuff going on. And it was somewhat okay, but it was very stressful because he wasn't really health-wise in a position to be doing that, to be quite honest. But it was something that he felt that he needed to do, and he did it. Well, because he was working so much with that, my husband's diabetic, and doing that kind of extensive driving and just as much as he was doing, it really put him in a spot where he got these foot ulcers, and it really exacerbated his condition. So much so that he's been hospitalized. He was hospitalized actually twice in the last 2 years. The first time while Whitney was pregnant, it was in 2015. And it's crazy because right when all that was going on, he was in the hospital, we needed to move. Because I forgot to tell you guys in the beginning of all this, we lost our house too. It was just crazy. All these things started coming down. We could not pull the savings back enough to keep the house. So my husband's in the hospital. We were having to move our whole entire family. And guess who got to do all of that? Hello, because Rick was in the hospital. It was crazy. I couldn't even believe all this was going on. And we did it though, because when things come into our life, we have to make a decision. We have to decide: are we going to win, or are we going to fall? Are we going to lay back and let everything happen, or are we going to make something happen? So we made something happen, and so we moved into this place, and then that following year, we needed to move again. So just this past year, we moved again, and Rick's illness got even worse. So he was in the hospital this past March, and it was very devastating. But that's right when our Temecula move happened. And you guys, it's it's crazy. I mean, I look back as I'm going over this story. Annie is so funny as I'm going through this timeline, going, wow, all that success so much in the beginning, and then this craziness happened. the stressors that hit. And so it's okay though now, because we're coming on the outside of it. But the lesson that I really want you guys to see right now and just listen and hear is that and the other part that I forgot to say, which is huge, is when Rick did go last year in 2016, when all this stuff was happening and all the savings were gone that we needed to keep going, I had to go back to corporate America. You guys, I love doing Miriam full time, because it really isn't full time when you're doing it. You're bringing in, you're helping your team, you're growing, you're talking to people. That's what I love to do. But I did not want to go back, but I had to. I had to go back to a 40-hour job because my husband wasn't able to go back to work. So what am I going to do? Just let this thing go? No. I am determined to build and to create a legacy for my family. And Rick too, he's behind me 100%. So it's just amazing what we can do when we're backed up against a wall, when we have the tools. This business, this personal development, I did not miss an event. I was at Get Real 15. I was at Get Real 16. I will be at Get Real 17. You guys, there's no excuses. We have to continue to build. If something's important to us, we will do it. We will do it because it matters. We have that why. And I'll tell you, my why in 2012 is a whole lot different than my why in 2017, because your life, as we go through this journey of life, things happen to us, and it's how we react to what happens. So last weekend I was at a regional, and Puya really and Silver really laid it out, and it really helped me, because I'm so thankful I get to share today because of the timeliness of that regional. Because Puya said, with your results focused and purpose driven, and it equals your massive action plan. That is the formula for success. We can have whatever we want in this life if we just stay focused. And excuse me, my throat's getting dry. And then the other thing that I wanted to bring up too is that Silver mentioned that if you stay the course, if you stay on the path, that success is inevitable. Success is inevitable if we stay in the game, you guys. So I hope that some of the things that I've shared with you today, I hope that, sharing my heart, because it truly is my heart, will help you guys see that, if we keep in preparation, sometimes we have to keep preparing for those things that are going to disrupt us, but we can recover from those stresses. We can adapt. We can grow, and it's all about growing. You guys, thank you so much for letting me share. Annie, I really appreciate you. I hope that you got something out of this. I hope you were able to take this and learn and know that whatever you're going through, you can do this if you just stay focused. God bless you guys.
This is beautiful. Thank you.
Janet, that was amazing. I so appreciate you sharing from your heart and your soul.
Absolutely.
That's so much why I wanted you to share with our Nurian family here, because from everybody that I've known in this business, you have mastered resilience in a way that is so inspiring for me and so many more. And you guys, Janet told you part of that story. There's so much more to that story. You can't even get into it. But I will tell you that having lived through her last 5 years with her, the fact that she has done what she has done is remarkable. Not only as a woman, but as a human being, to have to endure have the energy and the focus to be able to do what she's done. So I just applaud you, Janet. I so appreciate you sharing your heart and soul. I learned a lot, and I love you madly. And thank you guys so much for showing up today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye, Annie. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Terrific, motivating, and
Thank
tear-jerking
you.
story.
Thank you.